Each and every fall I sit here and tell you that the latest SmackDown is good, but just good. That it's not impressive and not enough to curl the toes of this lifelong wrestling game fan. Today I'm thrilled to tell you that WWE SmackDown Vs Raw 2010 isn't just good, it's freaking great. Vince McMahon's cavalcade of loons is back in a 67 character roster, a boatload of match types, and a whole bunch of options that will let you create characters, logos, as well as your own stories complete with cutscenes that you can share with the world. If there's one thing SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 nails, it's the WWE style presentation. Thanks to new bells and whistles such as the live logos you see on TV and the copyright symbol popping up at the end of matches, these bouts feel like they're ripped from the actual program. The game loads in a blink of an eye, so you'll be happy to sit through the pomp and circumstance before a title match, and in the game the fugly HUD of the past has been tossed in favor of a small halo around your character's feet. In short, it looks great because it looks real. Another beautiful addendum this year for fans is how blood works. When I first busted somebody open, I thought the blood looked a bit weak. It was just a blob on the left side of the guy's forehead. But as I continued to wail on the foe, some nifty changes started to appear. The blood engulfed his left eye, it dripped onto his chest, it rubbed off onto my chest. Hell, if I kept punching him in the face, it rubbed off on my knuckles. If you've played SmackDown in the past few years, you should know what to expect when it comes to controlling your grappler. The left stick moves you and the right stick grapples, etc, etc, etc. Still, THQ has dropped in a number of under-the-hood improvements. There are apron moves, you can grapple from an opponent's side, and there are a total of 4 strong grapple positions that you can now switch to without breaking a hold. Reversing is now assigned to 1 button rather than last year's 2, and you can pretty much reverse any finisher at any time. Beyond all the nuts and bolts stuff, there's a lot to talk about. The majority of the matches from last year are back and untouched. The Inferno match, Hell in a Cell, and so on. And so is stuff like the 4-player online and the ability to move championships around via the roster editor. But there are some new and improved contests. Remember how crappy the Royal Rumble has been in the past? THQ overhauled it, so now knocking dudes out comes down to a quick-time minigame that's actually fun to play. Championship Scramble is here with various time limits so that you can defend your titles like they do on TV, and there are 6 new Road to WrestleMania campaigns for you to embark on that feature more choices, more twists, and more entertainment than ever. I mean, these things are awesome. Still, the biggest stuff this year is the creation-community combination. Create a Superstar is back and overhauled with 3D items so the characters look better than ever. There's still a few issues. The new point system made me choose between sunglasses or pants for Gruesome Greggy because I couldn't have both. And the invented wrestlers don't look as good as the real superstars, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. The paint tool lets you create any image you want. The highlight reel's back and this time allows you to record match highlights and edit them into entrance movies. And then there's the story designer, which is the biggest addition to the series in years. Here you're given a calendar with the next 10 years of WWE programming on it and allowed to create whatever story or feud you want for the program you want. You click a show and choose one of the more than 100 scene animations to pop in and tell your tale. The animations range from people getting interviewed to cars exploding to mysterious briefcases being found. You get to cast the characters in their roles, write the dialogue, change the camera angles, and more. When you got that one part done, you can move on to the next show and keep the story going, or just end it there. It's your call. When all your creating is done, you can upload the content to the SmackDown vs. Raw servers where people can download, search for, comment on, and rate your work. Literally, you're getting an endless stream of free content for this game. There are nitty-gritty sticking points with this year's SmackDown vs. Raw, such as the fact that created superstars can only appear 10 times in a created story, and the AI can be a bit wonky in Road to WrestleMania. But for those micro concerns, you really should check out my extensive written review. I mean, I haven't even touched on superstar threads, creative finisher being back, or any of the other dozen things there are to talk about with this game. What you need to take away from this video is that WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 is a great game that should satisfy fans looking to lose themselves in the world of sports entertainment. The gameplay improvements are welcome, the presentation is top-notch, and the ability to create, upload, and download user-created stories pretty much blows the lid off of how long you can play this title. So if you'll allow me to paraphrase the great one, finally, the awesomeness has come back to SmackDown!